The Propcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states. Plus, you get $20 free with the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And welcome, everyone, to the Propcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Currently Monday morning, January 12th, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Reichel, once again joined by Rosenberg together to break down our thoughts for the only game on the NFL card, the Monday night playoff game between the Texans and the Steelers. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
Not a great weekend for any teams that I like, but you know, onward. As they do say, hit a first touchdown bet. That was fun.
Shout out to Brian Thomas Jr.
It's not to Brian Thomas Jr. Would have been nice to hit more. I mean, like with I think it was 1 and 2 on main plays, 2 and 4 on bonus. I don't know. It wasn't a really great week. Sorry, guys, but I just want to get through this game and put it behind us. Yeah. If Joe wants to Joe coming in hot immediately about the Hurts pocket QB stuff. That's a deeper conversation because there's a lot less Hurts, and it's not as much Hurts as it's also just like that was an atrocious play calling. You can't.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to have one takeaway from the game, Kellen Moore stock at an all-time high.
Kellen Moore stock and all. First of all, there's two things. One, you can't run that. Like, that is your final play. Like, can't be the play that you're running. Are you they ran 3 wide and everyone was under.
Yeah,
clear. You also are running AJ on slants when he should be absolutely just working outside. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I got to be honest, man, people can say what they want to say about Hurts. Hurts is, I will continue to say the same thing. Hurts is extremely good at a few things really well. I had no idea why there's no designed runs for him anymore. Completely agree. But the thing is, and if you if you game plan those out, if you shut it down and say, hey, we're not going to let you use your legs, he doesn't know what to do unless he has a really good play call. And the reality of the situation is that this is some of the worst play calling I've ever seen. And DeMarcus Robinson had 100+ yards, guys. So you could still have the worst play calling I've ever seen, but if you're giving up chunky yard, you're giving up 100 yards to DeMarcus Robinson. Sky Moore was constantly called. What are we doing here? Bad game. Eagles played terribly. I hope that they just spend. I hope that, honestly, kind of hope that they jump in and grab Stefanski. That's really what I kind of want right now.
So, out of curiosity, since you brought up Stefanski, is that because you're assuming Harbaugh's going to the Giants, or because Stefanski right now is your coach 1 in the free agency market?
He would be my coach 1. Here, the problem is as much as Sirianni's has won and he's been a winner, he made a point in the middle of the season when everything was hitting its head with Catullo. He said, no, I'm not taking away his play calling. You can't do that. And we saw that the play calling's terrible. You cannot be not scoring when you have top 10 skill players in every single position, period. Full stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. And Barkley had a good game as well.
And Barkley, yeah. And it's just also, worst player on the Eagles team this entire season was Cam Jurgens, just to be very, very clear. Okay. Absolutely the worst center in the league this season. But you have to, I would rather Stefanski come in, call his own plays, do whatever, and keep everything else what it's going to be. He's got Philly ties. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see what happens. I'm sure they'll interview a bunch of guys. And, of course, if the Eagles did end up firing Sirianni, then that would be the most popular job there was, most likely. I do want to ask you, though, last point on the Eagles. Do you think that was the last game A.J. Brown's going to play with this team?
It's really hard to get rid of him is the problem.
That's why I was wondering.
It's also it's a lot. I don't think so.
Okay. Just because there's going to be no suitors, not enough realistic suitors for him, basically.
Well, you can't cut him because it's $20 million to the cap, and you have to find. First of all, also to be clear, a lot of teams would really want AJ Brown.
Of course, he's really good.
He's really good, but it seems like the easiest path of resistance here is actually to change the coach.
Yeah, just to try to smooth things over and work it out.
It's not even smooth things over. It's just if he's clearly having problems with all that, and everybody's having problems with all that, why don't you just change the path of least resistance, which is the play calling and the coaching?
Yeah, definitely an option there. We'll see how it plays itself out. But
Joe nails it right here. AJ needs to catch all those balls, man.
Well, yeah, the slant that he dropped on third down was massive.
Massive. And like we've seen him do that all season, man.
Yeah,
Don't
pretty much.
talk big if you aren't going to come up big.
Yeah, look, all I'll say is I think it's pretty fitting. I've never really been a Sirianni guy. I mean, a Super Bowl is a Super Bowl, and they dominated pretty much every team on the run.
Also,
so
like they've won during regular season.
Yeah, it all worked out. But
they've been good.
Besides the Super Bowl win, it has been a collection of painful losses or embarrassing showings, which has been an issue. But I do think it's pretty fitting the game ended on Sirianni blundering the timeouts right before the fourth down in order to completely sabotage any hope of getting the ball back. So, yeah, either way, a lot of good games. The Chargers game stunk because the Chargers stink. But besides that, every other game was good. So, pretty solid weekend if you're an NFL fan. But either way, anything else you want to add? Or should we just move on into
let's move on. I mean, like, the ceiling on this Eagles team is fantastic, but the bottom is really bad. We saw a lot of the bottom this year.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned,
I don't think that they like in hindsight, did they really the teams? I mean, did they?
I mean, in hindsight, the division stunk, and they coasted to a title. But I think we all knew
they had a top five. They had a difficult schedule. They had a tough schedule. I mean,
correct. But I'm just acknowledging.
They beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Like, regardless of whether or not the Chiefs didn't do well this year, the Chiefs were still the Chiefs.
I'm saying once again, the Eagles had a fine regular season. I think people under the hood had concerns about this team, but it does help when your division features three teams that stink.
Yeah,
and the Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants all stunk this season.
Yeah, they were never pressed.
No, so they got the coast at this point. But either way. Point is, once again, we have one more game for the actual wildcard weekend, which we're going to get into in a few minutes. Before we get into the props for the last game, a reminder that we have new gear going on with the SGPN merch store. Bunch of new items for the new year. And right now, get 10% off everything in the merch store. Promo code 2026. Here's, once again, a great opportunity to get yourself some merchandise from a bunch of different shows on the network. 10% off everything in the merch store with the promo code 2026. So moving on to the actual props that we like for the show. Once again, this is the only game left in the wild card round.
You kind of say that like an apology, like, sorry guys. Like, here's
because I'm not a fan. I think this game might be painfully low scoring, which might not be entertaining, but either way, if you want to make it more interesting, we have some props. But Texans take on the Steelers. Steelers hosting a playoff game, and we're going to talk about it. So, Adam, what's going to be your first prop for the Monday night game?
Well, let's go with the first one I'm going to go with is going with a defensive prop. They've been good to us this season, right? They have been. Cameron Hayward, over 4.5 tackles and assists. He is over this in 7 of his last 10. He's over this in 5 of his last 6. To your point, it's going to be a run. They're going to run the ball. Like, that's what this team does. You know, the Houston is, generated 22nd most tackles against, 24th most assists against. Cameron Hayward's kind of the anchor on that trench in that defense. So we only really need him to get to 5. We got it at -107. If you're at the bullshit book in Florida, Hard Rock, you get it at even money. So we're going to go with that. I think I had another kind of stat on that one too that I liked. It was, over 4 or 5, over 5 or 6, 4 straight primetime games. So, like, he's kind of been there in those primetime games. And like we said, Texas team likes to run. So I think that it makes a lot of sense to kind of take a tackles and assist prop with a nose tackle that we think is going to be all over the place.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind it. I think it's a good number. And the logic makes sense because we know that Houston's not afraid of just running the same guy into the line of scrimmage 25 plus times a game. Yeah. Like, they can do that too. So I can get behind that too. I think the price is solid. So for my first play, I'm going to actually have a collection of tight end plays for the card. I coincidentally have 3 separate tight end plays. So starting off with the Texans tight end, I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz, over 19.5 first half receiving yards at -110. Schultz has been quite good in the first half of games lately, as he has had at least 22 receiving yards in the first half in 5 of his last 6. Plus, he has been very good on the road, this season. He's had at least 22 receiving yards in the first half in 7 of his first 8 road games. And the Steelers, we know, are not very good against the pass, especially against tight ends. The Steelers are allowing the 5th most receiving yards per game to opposing tight ends this season. Schultz, we know, is consistent. He's solid. He's a security blanket for Stroud in this offense. 19.5 first half receiving yards is basically nothing, and he seems to always walk into at least 20. I like the hit rate. I like the matchup. I like the spot. Give me Schultz first half receiving yards over 19.5 at -110.
Yeah, you and I talked about this before we went on air. I like this. I like this play. I think Schultz and stuff is that good. The only thing that had me at all hesitant on first half type of plays is just how much these teams run or just do whatever, and the clock constantly moving is
the clock constantly moving is annoying, but I do think
annoying. I think
Schultz can operate in the play action game, which they can definitely use.
No, I think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, 19.5. I mean, in theory, maybe one catch gets you there. Probably
he's not
2.
the guy they go to in the second half.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed. You ever notice that?
Well, that's why when I was looking at the actual receiving yards breakdown, I noticed that the full game hit rate significantly lower than the first half hit rate. So they definitely seem to target him less in the second half. But yeah, the play action game could work. In theory, one catch could get you there, probably 2. But I do think the play action game will be a solid complementary option to the stubbornness of the rushing attack that the Texans have. But 19.5 is very low. So I like the over on his receiving yards there in the first half. Moving on to your second play for this game. What do you like?
Sorry, I was just marking something for.
It's all good.
Okay, second play I like here. So similar kind of angle. I think to get used a little bit in this play action, but I like Jaden Higgins, man. I like Jaden Higgins a fair bit. Let me just pull up. Sorry, guys, you can get to see this. I like Jaden Higgins here. Jaden Higgins over 16.5 longest reception, -110. He's over in 4 straight road games. Pittsburgh's got the highest opposing completion percentage of 20 yards or more since week 11. Higgins also just over in 3 of his last 4 games. He's kind of that guy that they look to a lot to make some of these big plays, similar to Schultz. I do think that this Pittsburgh team could get pretty mauled on the play action, and I think that there are multiple options to do this. If you look at since week 12, he is he's the guy who they're looking for on third down. 20% of third down targets are going to Jaden Higgins. So do like this quite a fair bit. Here, actually, let me include Schultz on this too, so I can do it. The play action targets. So since week 12, Caden Stover has the most play action targets. That's interesting. I didn't see that one coming. Anyway, Schultz and Higgins are actually right there. They both are representing 20% of those target shares in there in that same exact thing. So yeah, let's look to both of our guys being able to do stuff. I just want one big one during the game because I think that's kind of what he does. Again, his A.2, his 23% of the air yards on the team since week 12. So he's kind of that is what he does versus Schultz, who kind of catches a whole bunch of them. So Jaden Higgins over 16.5 longest reception.
Yeah, we already know the Steelers secondaries had problems all year, and he definitely could be a big play guy. So I can get behind that as well. Before we get into the remainder of our props, a reminder that we're brought to you by our sponsor, which is Avo. So make more money betting on sports with Avo. It's AVO. Avo is the best sports betting tool that helps you make a profit every time. If you decide to place bets, they do this with sports arbitrage. So keep that in mind, plus TV opportunities for you. And they actually compile them faster than the competitors. So they help keep you organized in one place. And a reminder that if you're new to arbitrage betting, you can get guaranteed profit by finding both sides of one market at plus money to lock in a profit. And a reminder that they have a very clean dashboard. It is super easy to understand and use, and they can also teach you if you want some guides, etc., on how to do it. But a reminder that if you are trying to get started, go to avo.bet. Use promo code SGPN for $18 off. That's avo.bet. Promo code SGPN for $18 off. We're also brought to you by Kalshi, so a real money prediction market that's legal in all 50 states. You can trade tons of markets in sports like the NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can also trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, you can also look at markets with politics, entertainment, and even the weather. And if you are new to Kalshi, great sign-up deal with us. It's $20 if you use the promo code SGPN at sign up. That's Kalshi, K-A-L-S-H-I, promo code SGPN for a free $20 at sign up. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finished going through the first call props that we have for this Texans and Steelers game. Time to move on into my second prop for the show. So going with another tight end, I'm going to pivot to the Steelers. Give me Freiermuth under 3.5 receptions at -130. Freiermuth's had less than 4 catches in 15 of his first 17 games this season. Now, he lands on 3 a lot. That's why the line's at 3.5. I know Washington was a healthy scratch last week, so we might not see any.
Well, he's not a healthy scratch. He broke his arm, dude.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I missed that. But either way.
An unhealthy scratch. He broke his forearm.
Point is, though, Freiermuth should end up getting some playing time, but that doesn't change the fact that he still has gone under this number regularly.
They love Hayward. They love Hayward, too.
They do. He's the QB sneak guy on that team. But I do want to point out that the Texans have been very good at limiting catches to starting tight ends. The Texans have allowed less than 4 catches to 5 of the last 7 starting tight ends that they faced. Freiermuth is fine. I think he might end up with 2-3 catches, but I do think that even with the expected bump in workload because of the injury to Washington, we saw last week he didn't really do much. You can see the same thing happening this game. Texans have been good against tight ends. I think that Freiermuth's going to catch maybe 2-3 balls, but 3.5 at -130, I think is a very good number for a guy whose hit rate is definitely going under regularly this season. Give me Freiermuth under 3.5 catches, especially now that Metcalf's back. That's one more mouth to feed on this offense. Give me Freiermuth under 3.5 catches at -130.
I like it because guess what? Here I'm going to say something controversial about Pat Freiermuth.
Okay.
I think he's closer to Noah Gray than he is to Travis Kelce. I don't see the big deal on Pat Freiermuth.
I think he's okay, but I think Steelers fans expect more consistency out of him, and they just don't get it.
I just don't think he does much, man. Like he's I literally the reason I'm making the Noah Gray comp is because our bosses on this entire network are big Noah Gray guys, and you and I are not, and you and I have
faded him blindly.
Fade him blindly all the time.
I don't think Freiermuth's that bad, but I'll put it this way: when he was coming out of Penn State, I think people thought he'd be better than he actually was in the NFL.
He's a part-time player.
He's okay. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Under 3.5 first quarter receiving yards was very close to being on my list.
Yeah. Is there a reason why it did not make your list at the end?
Because I just don't want a lot of stuff on this game.
Okay. Fair enough. But either way, we're both not high on Freiermuth for this game with the matchup. So moving on to your next play, what do you like?
My next play is, okay, so we're going to go with Kenny G. We're going to play the sacks, but we're going to play it backwards. Kenny G, under 7.5 rush attempts. Kenny G is like the main receiver that they look to. He's not really the running guy. Houston's has also given up the 5th least amount of rushing attempts since week 11. They're 3rd overall in limiting rush attempts. Under in 6 of 9 home games, under in 5 of 6 losses. I do not think that the Steelers win this game. So just as a clear thing there, it's not necessarily correlated to the win-loss like the Jordan Love completions, which by the way, guys, was cruising until that 4th quarter. Yeah. Like cruising.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest here, if the Bears did not have an insane comeback attempt, and if the Packers actually knew how to drain clock, they would have just kept running the ball to drain clock. So it was fine.
So, whatever. but we're gonna do Kenny G under 7.5 rush attempts. He can catch the ball as much as he wants, but I only think he's gonna have. And
we know that Warren's the better actual running back.
He's the guy that they use. I also think that they're just going to be using a lot of the passing in this thing. Like I kind of like the. I think Kramer gave it out too, and I really do like it. I think I'm going to bonus
Pelicans
play.
To win the NBA Finals.
Pelicans to win the NBA Finals.
JJ McCarthy to win MVP. What are you talking about?
I like no, he gave out. Yeah, so I kind of like Rodgers over pass attempts.
Okay.
I just for this exact reason, like just try it a billion times. Let me just look at.
I mean, if we're also expecting the Texans defense to turn the Steelers one-dimensional, then I think that's probably the approach.
Yeah, I agree. He's in bottom 10 in pass attempts allowed per game since week 11. So let me see if there's some of the other things that we can get on tendencies here. Yeah, I think that it's a pivot off of what Kramer did because Kramer did the completions. I'm going to do the attempts. I think we get a. Is Novig still a sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Novig has it at plus 110. I think that's a really good price because it's minus 102 in the rest of the market.
Yeah, I'll mention them in a second. Actually, no, it is not, but they still sponsored our show in the past, so you can still mention them.
All right, cool. Well, anyway, yeah. So this all goes back to Kenny G. I don't think they're going to have a ton of rushing attempts. I think they're going to throw the ball like a billion little times.
Well, we know Kenny G is a running back technically, but we know that he's basically a receiver.
Correct.
On this team, so that's fine. Anyway, moving on to my last play out of the 3 props. Another tight end. Give me Jonnu Smith, the longest catch under 8.5 yards at minus 110. Now, initially, we actually had a debate amongst ourselves when we did the first episode for the wildcard weekend, how many games we were going to cover. So initially, we thought about doing 4 props each because we were going to add another game. And then we realized, let's just separate the Monday night game. So initially, I had Jonnu Smith, the longest catch under 10.5 yards. The market definitely realized that number was too high, and now it's at 8.5. I'm still going to take it. You're looking at his actual longest reception numbers, and they're not very good. He's gone under this number in 8 of his last 9 games. He's been targeted less than 3 times in 7 of his last 9 games. I know that with Washington being out, he should get, in theory, more run. But the point is, they don't really throw the ball to Jonnu ever, especially down the field. And I do think that 8.5 is a number that's too high. But he has gone under in 8 of his last 9. Once again, less than 3 targets in 7 of his last 9 games. So they don't really use him ever in the passing game. And I said before, the Texans have been good against tight ends. Give me Jonnu Smith, longest catch under 8.5 yards at minus 120.
Yeah, I didn't even think about him for the rest of it. Like, a lot of these guys just kind of just never show up.
Pretty much.
I just think also, like, DK, like, the reality is that this team, like, DK is on this team for a reason. Like, Jalen Warren, I think, and Gainwell are going to get way more of these looks.
Yeah, me too. And we know Metcalf, whether it's going to work or not, will get the bulk of the targets on the outside and the targets downfield. So maybe John, who catches a couple passes, but they seem to be really close to the line of scrimmage, as a lot of this offense is dink and dunk oriented. So I do think that 8.5 is still too high of a number. Anyway, any miscellaneous stuff you want to add?
I just added that Rodgers over pass attempts. I like that.
Okay. I know that there was one play that you did not mention that I thought was going to be in your 3, but the combined field goals.
Oh, yeah. If you could find a better number on this, that's fine. I just didn't want to give it out because the number moved a lot, but over 3.5 field goals, I got it at minus 121.
That's combined kickers, by the way.
It's combined kickers. I think it's minus like 155 now, so I don't feel good giving it out. I think I took it on Caesars. There's got to be another book that gives it, but
yeah.
That one, I think you got it early too. It just kind of.
I got it early. I mean, my boy, once again, Fairbairn is like minus 220, so you can't really take that. But for
but this is a good way to do it. I mean, Boz, like they're gonna do it. So.
Oswald kicks a ton too. So both coaches have defensive backgrounds. They want to take as many points as possible. Tomlin, I feel like, is going to die inside every time he chooses to go for it on 4th down. So both coaches love to get points. They love to get points. So I like the play anyway at 3.5. But yes, the line did move.
134 Bookmaker is not bad. That's nice.
I forgot about Bookmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we should probably have a joint account at Bookmaker.
Yeah, probably.
It doesn't make sense for us both to have one, but we can have one and we just do that. Anyway,
But anyway, any other miscellaneous stuff you want to add?
No. Any
rants you want to share?
I mean, I'm ready for hockey and for baseball, and I've been putting out some baseball futures. I'm excited to do that with you. I'm going to start. Dad's Bet Baseball is going to start doing team previews next week.
Nice. And you're previewing every team or going by division?
Going to every single team. 20 minutes. 20 minutes over under on their win total, and a bet if I like one for one of the teams. We'll have a lot of stuff. We'll have stuff here too. I guess you and I will do something.
Yeah, I mean the MLB podcast is going to do win total,
right? And I do that with you.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll figure out something to talk about.
Everybody at SGPN is using handigraphs, so you should too. And found a goal filter on handigraphs that's allowing me to like just cook on predicting goals.
There you go. So once again, keep an eye out for hockey for handigraphs. But before we actually get into our best bets for the show, A reminder, they're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. We're going to give out an Underdog entry in a few minutes. Unfortunately, Herbert did not throw a pick, which
we were so close. Everything else.
entry.
We also were weirdly close on the Drake May.
Yeah, I mean, he had 55 yards at the half, so we had a chance there, but he didn't get there for most rushing yards this week. But either way, check out Underdog for pick'em entries. Chance to win 5,000 times your entry. They're bringing the playoff magic all playoffs long, every playoff weekend. Open the app and see what promos are waiting for you. Also, if you are new to Underdog, great new offer for new customers. Play just $5, $75 bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They've been crushing it this NFL season, especially on props. And you can also check them out for other sports like college basketball. Check them out for the models. You can use the house model, copy one for the leaderboard, or if you want to, once again, use your own from scratch, you can also build your own model. But a reminder that you should check out Rhythm if you want to experiment with model building in sports betting. And if you want to actually look at props for the game tonight, they are fans. Let me just see of what props they have in the smart signals. So you actually mentioned the Gainwell one, but they have another one. If you want to go for Woody Marks
they like
under,
nice. They like
if you want to go for Woody Marks under 16.5 rush attempts, they like that. So they think that either they're going to throw the ball or maybe a bit more Chubb usage than anticipated. But either way, that's a prop they like. They like Woody Marks under 16.5 rush attempts at -130. Anyway, a reminder, if you want to check out Rhythm, use our promo code for a discount. So if you are new and you want to sign up, use the code SGPN25. We download the app and you'll get 25% off your first month. That's Rhythm, RATHMM, promo code SGPN25 for 25% off your first month. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finish going through our props for the game tonight. Time to move on into the best bets. Adam, what's your favorite play out of the three you gave out?
Probably this Cameron Hayward over 4.5 TNA, because I just think he's just going to be grinding down into there. So I like that one a lot.
Yeah. For my best bet, give me the Schultz first half receiving yards over 19.5. He's gone over in 7 of the first 8 road games this season. Steelers are really bad against tight ends. And we said it before, play action game should be strong for Schultz and some other guys. But give me Dalton Schultz over 19.5 yards in the first half at -110. Anyway, for Underdog, Adam, what do you want to do? You want to recycle anything?
We talked a lot about tight ends we don't like. It feels like we should recycle some of these tight end things. We have not done well on Underdog lately. So let's talk about a couple things that didn't.
Unfortunately, we chose Herbert interception, which was the only play that it lost on the show for me last week.
Which I'm surprised it didn't hit. Okay, so
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
To be fair to Herbert, he was too busy getting decapitated on every play, so he didn't really have enough time to throw.
Let's do the Freiermuth lower.
Okay, so Freiermuth lower 3.5 catches.
Let's do the Jonnu. What do you want to do on Jonnu?
It was the longest reception lower at 8.5. If they have that.
They don't.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's do on the Texans side. What'd you say? You said that they liked the rush attempts lower
for Marks.
Yeah, let's do that. Lower 50.5.
Okay.
And then let's do one more.
I mean, do you want to just do the Gainwell carries?
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Okay, cool.
I mean, Warren's clearly a better runner than him.
Right, and they want to give him pass stuff too. It just sort of doesn't make sense. Okay, so we can put in a gimme pick. Okay, great. So that was awesome. We got a 4 pick because they gave us a gimme pick.
Okay,
which is CJ Stroud higher 0.0 pass.
Is your max on that 50 or 25?
Oh, it's 10. Never mind.
That's what I thought. It limits your actual size.
Yeah, forget that. Okay, forget it. I'm not falling for it. Kenny Gainwell, lower 7.5 rush attempts. Pat Freiermuth, lower 3.5 receptions. Woody Marks, lower 15.5 rush attempts. 5.28 multiplier. We're going to put $50 on it to allegedly win $246, but we know that that's not true.
Yeah, either way, we'll see what payout is at the end. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. A reminder, we're back once again for, of course, the divisional round, and we'll be back for an NHL and NBA episode during the week. Adam, before officially on the show, can you just recap your 3 plays?
Yeah, they are Kenny Gainwell under 7.5 rush attempts. Sorry, let's start this over. Kenny Gainwell, under 7.5 rush attempts. Jaden Higgins, over 6.5 longest reception. Cameron Hayward, over 4.5 tackles and assists.
And my 3 plays, Dalton Schultz, over 19.5 first half receiving yards at -110. Freiermuth, under 3.5 catches, -130. And Jonnu Smith, longest catch, under 8.5 yards at -120. Anyway, we're back once again later on in the week, I believe on Thursday. Till next time, find the Propcast on YouTube at SGPN Propcast. You can find it on Spotify or Apple. If you do find it on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, like, subscribe, leave a rating and a review. Find the Propcast on Twitter as well, at the Propcast SGPN. Find us on Twitter, individually at Reichel Radio and at Hey Rosenberg. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.